only when it performs both the functions of accepting deposits and advancing of loans. If I am saying, if any financial institution is performing, or we can say performs the function of both accepting deposits, or we can say both the functions. If any financial institution performs both the functions of accepting deposits and advancing loans, that financial institution will be considered as a bank. But if I am saying any financial institution does not perform both the function of accepting deposits and advancing loans, that financial institution will not be considered as a bank. For example, see, post office is a financial institution, but it is not a bank. It is not a bank because post offices are not bank, or we can say post office is not a bank, as it it does not it does not perform the function of lending. Advances of loans means lending, means loan. Post office does not perform the function of lending, but they accept deposits from the public. We can say that post office, in simple terms, post office accept deposits, or we can say post office accepts deposit from the deposits from the public, but post office does not perform the function of lending. That's why we are saying post office is a financial institution, but post office is not a bank. You know that for a financial institution, there are two conditions. For a financial institution to become a bank. First, accept deposits and advance loans, and we know that post office accepts deposits from the public but does not perform the function of lending. That's why we are saying post office is not a bank. Post office is a financial institution. I hope it is clear. See, after this, see, what is the meaning of net time deposit? Because you know that we have already discussed in M3. What is the formula of M3? M3 is equal to M1 plus net time deposit with commercial bank, or we can say net time deposit of commercial bank. Now we are going to discuss what is the meaning of net time deposit. Net time deposits with commercial banks net time deposits with commercial banks refers to those deposits with the commercial bank for a fixed period of time. This line is most important. Fixed period of time means time deposit means you can say fixed deposit. Time deposit means you can say fixed deposit. I hope it is clear. fixed period of time, they can be withdrawn only after the maturity of the fixed period, I hope definition of net time deposit clear. Net time deposit with commercial refers to those deposit with the commercial bank for a fixed period of time. With means pass. Commercial bank के पास for a fixed period of time. They can be withdrawn only after the maturity of the fixed period. Time deposit with post office. Listen carefully this line from here up to this. See, time deposits with post office are similar deposits with the post office saving accounts. It means that we can say that time deposit of post office is treated as time deposits of post office, you can say time deposits of post offices are treated as equal to post office saving accounts. I hope it is clear. You know that post office is not a bank. I hope meaning of net time deposit is clear. Meaning of net time deposit up to here, but after this line is different from meaning of this line is showing different thing. Time deposit with post office are similar deposits with the post office saving account. It means that time deposits of post offices are treated as equal to post office saving accounts. I hope it is clear. See, after this, national saving certificates. We have discussed national saving certificates in M4. What is the formula of M4? M3 plus total saving deposits of, we can say M3 plus total deposits of post office saving bank. M3 plus total deposit of post office saving bank. National saving certificates are the saving bonds certified by the government of India. What is the meaning of national saving certificates? Are the saving bonds certified by the government of India. They are used for small saving. I hope it is clear. See, we have discussed all components of money supply. First component is M1, we have discussed. Second component is M2, we have discussed. Third component is M3, we have already discussed. Fourth component is M4, we have already discussed. Now, what is the conclusion? Or we can say, what are the conclusions of these components M1, M2, M3 and M4. See, note here, important facts about measures of money supply, or we can say important facts about components of money supply. First important fact is M1 and M2 are known as narrow means small. Mark this one. Narrow means small money supply concept. M1 and M2 are known as narrow means small money supply concept. Second fact, M3 and M4 are known as broader means large money supply concept. I hope it is clear. See, after this, M1 is the most liquid means which can easily convertible into cash. M1 is the most liquid for transactions. Means M1 can be, we can say, we can easily convert M1 into cash form. M4, fourth fact, M4 is least liquid. It means that we can say we can't easily convert M4 into cash form. So again I'm repeating, M4 is least liquid for transaction. See, fifth fact, M3 is widely used. Listen carefully. If you want to measure money supply in an economy, then you will use M3 to measure money supply. M3 is widely used as measure of money supply, and it is also called aggregate monetary resources. In our next video, we will discuss demand for money. Have a good day and thank you very much.